to Irish World Sports on Monday, the 12th of February. Of course, the major event of the weekend was the Super Bowl, one which I got right, one in the sense that got everything right. Once you're backing Mr. Mahomes, you can do no wrong. He's up there now with some of the great sportsmen of all time, really, because he just keeps on producing, and without him, I think Kansas wouldn't be within 100 miles of the Super Bowl, never mind winning it. And his stats, as the Americans like to say, his stats yesterday were he passed for 333 yards, and incredibly, he also rushed for 66 yards, which he was the top rusher on the team. So you take those stats out, and you have nothing. It was a close game. I mean, up till 6 o'clock last night, following it, and San Francisco were whinging about the fact that they were a better team, but the better team doesn't, the better team doesn't lose, and they lost. So that's the way of it. And Mahomes got his, of course, the last touchdown. They won it in overtime. A very simple play, simple pass to the right, but from it you could see. Like, don't ask me the name of the Kansas City coach, but wonderfully simple the way it was worked. No hassle, no nothing. And that was actually Mahomes' whole thing. He's trying to be flashy, and throwing these wonderful passes, and running laterally and passing. But last night he kept it very simple, and because of that, they won, and that's it for another year. Of course, we had Qatar winning the Asian Nations Trophy with scoring 3 goals, all of which were penalties, which must be a bit of a record. I'm going to say no more. Sure, the referee will not be a poor man after, but that's just being envious, I guess. And then yesterday as well, we had the African Nations Cup, and an unusual team winning it, the Ivory Coast, beating Nigeria 2-1. So nice to see a new name coming up there, and I'd love to see African football getting better and better, and eventually winning the real thing, the World Cup. They definitely have enough players to do it if they could get it together, but that's over for another day. At the moment, Ivory Coast don't have that many players. I mean, they did have the great Didier Drogba years and years ago, the massive striker. I think it was mostly for Chelsea. I think he could be coaching this team at the moment as well, so all good. In golf, unfortunately, what I feared happened. Our Shane Lowry blew up in the last round and finished way down the field. I mean, it's his problem. He can't stick 4 good rounds together at the moment. Sometimes he can't even stick 3 or 2 even, so hoping he can get out of the slump. I may have said it before on this cast, but my worry about Shane is this: he came to fame by winning the Irish Open as an amateur, a very young, fresh-faced guy at that stage, and the innocence of it all was amazing. And then, of course, he went on to win the British Open, very memorably up in Portrush. The problem I think could be that it's become too complicated for him. He keeps on talking about his team, and all these people are helping him, like his physio and his crew, possibly. God knows who else he has there. A lot of people around him, and maybe coaching a bit too much, and maybe he should go back and keep it simple. Lose a few of these people and these hangers on, and play his own simple game, because he definitely has the talent, has the shots. And it would be wonderful if he could win something else, but maybe for an awfully man, it's got a little bit too complicated. And we don't need these guys. We don't need physios. We don't need, I guess, sports psychologists or whatever you want to call them. Keep it simple, have a few pints, which he likes, and do his thing, because he can do it again. And finally, just to say, I didn't do a cast last night because just two competitions, not a lot going on anyway. Ireland are winning the rugby, but I'm kind of saying, so what? I'm looking at all these deluded people going up to the game yesterday, but it's Italy. The chances of Italy beating them are 1 in 1,000. They are the best team at the moment. We are the best team in the Six Nations, but I keep on saying, so what? Until they win a World Cup quarter final, it doesn't make any odds. I'm going to wait another 4 years to have a chance of doing that. A very good team at the moment, but they have to produce when it really counts. And I'm not sure if they can do that, because the pressure gets higher. It's a bit like Mayo on the Gaelic football. It seems to be a curse on them, you know. They have the best team, but that doesn't mean anything if you cannot bring it to the big day at the best time if the pressure gets to you. My horse racing on Saturday was awful, and I apologise for that. But that's kind of standard, and I hope nobody's trying to make millions out of listening to my tips. But we're looking forward to the big thing, Cheltenham, which will be coming up in a couple of weeks. And I reckon another Willie Mullins dominated festival. Looks very like it anyways. 3 great chances in many great chances, and ones we wouldn't even have heard of, but got up in the show. In the Gold Cup, you got Lossiemouth, whatever race he's running it, and El Fabliola, and all 3 of them should win. But some people are saying that maybe we'll get up in the show. The Gold Cup is very hard to do back to back. It's such a tough race. We'll see, but that's good night for now, and we'll talk again tomorrow.